Hola amigos, Stuart here with another video, and for years people moving to Spain have always wanted to live in the same places. Think the sunny south, think the Mediterranean coast or the Valencian community, but I reckon that is now starting to change. So in the video today we'll look at the different parts of the country, for example the south, the east and also the north of Spain, and see whether those are places that you should be moving to or not in 2026 and beyond. Let's start. So what are some of the problems moving to some of the more popular parts of Spain? For example, as I mentioned before, the south of the country, think Andalusia, and the east coast, also Mediterranean coast, think the Valencian community. Well, firstly, we have to take weather into consideration. Rising temperatures in many parts of the country are making summers in the south and the east coast a little bit uncomfortable nowadays. Rent prices have also been exploding over the last few years in key hotspots like Malaga City and Valencia City, and the north of the country, aka Green Spain, is starting to trend with both locals and foreigners alike. Now this video has nothing to do with tourism here in Spain, it's all about realistic living conditions. So let's start talking about the north of the country, and basically there are three words that we can associate with the north of Spain. It's cooler, it's greener, and it's cheaper, for now at least. So when we talk about the north of Spain, the key areas that come into play are Galicia, Asturias, Cantabria, and the Basque Country. And why have these areas been taking off in popularity in recent times? Well, it's all about climate. That part of Spain has milder summers, less extreme heat waves. Obviously, it rains there a lot more, that's why it's so green. But another important thing is that you won't have to use an air conditioner as much as if you were living in the center, south, or east of the country, which is important. And a lot of the north of Spain is cheaper than other parts of the country, maybe except for the Basque Country, which is a little bit expensive. But when it comes to Galicia, Asturias, and Cantabria, definitely cheaper, especially when it comes to daily living costs and also accommodation costs. Yes, rents and property prices in that part of Spain are growing, but not as quickly as in some other parts of the country. And another thing I need to talk about is the food quality in the north of Spain. Without a doubt, it's one of the best cuisines in the country. Galician cuisine, Asturian cuisine, Basque cuisine, second to none. However, and this is a fairly big however, your heating costs in the north of Spain are going to be a lot greater than in the south, obviously because of the cooler weather. When it comes to lifestyle, there is less mass tourism in the north of the country, which is a pro. There's still a very strong local identity in the places that I mentioned before, for example, the Basque Country. The cities in the north of Spain are generally smaller too, which means they're quieter and offer a high quality of life. Oh, and did I mention the food culture? Wow, the food culture is unbelievable. So who's going to be suited to the north of Spain? Well, I would say remote workers, also people that are sensitive to the heat, people that are planning on living in Spain long term, and people that are prioritizing livability over sunshine, if that makes sense. And the north of the country feels like a place where Spain itself is relocating to. Now let's talk about the south of Spain, and yes, the south of Spain is sunny, but sometimes that sunny weather comes at a cost. Now obviously, by the south of Spain, I mean Andalusia, so think Malaga, think Cádiz, think Almeria, think Granada, think Seville, think Córdoba, and also think very hot weather during the summer months in some of the places that I just mentioned. For example, Córdoba and Seville. Summers in the south of Spain, especially in some of the interior parts of Andalusia, are very, very hot. Think high 30s, sometimes in the low 40s for many days in a row. And the nights can be sleepless also, with very, very high temperatures. Water restrictions in the south of Spain have become the norm in recent years. Hardly a summer goes by without water restrictions somewhere in Andalusia, and it's very, very difficult to enjoy life in those peak summer months in the middle of the day. Think from 12 noon through to around 6 or 7 in the evening. You're not going to see many people outside. When it comes to costs, rents in cities like Seville and Malaga are expensive exploding currently, and a lot of coastal towns, especially in the Malaga province, are becoming increasingly expensive. Air conditioning in many parts of southern Spain is an absolute must during those summer months, so think higher electricity bills. And it can be cheaper if you move inland, but you're going to have to deal with a harsher climate. And I also need to mention that if you do move to a coastal town in the autonomous community of Andalusia, remember that tourism dominates those summer months. And what that means is that a town or village that is sleepy during the winter months suddenly comes alive and is overcrowded during the peak summer months, July and August. However, the trade-off is that during those winter months, you're going to get fantastic mild weather, unlike other parts of Spain. For example, this one here where it's absolutely freezing today, around 3 degrees Celsius. That doesn't happen in Malaga. But remember, during those summer months, the weather can feel oppressive. So to sum up, the south of Spain, in my opinion, suits winter sun lovers, it suits retirees, it would suit short-term residents, people that don't want to stick around for those hot, crowded summer months. Now let's talk about eastern Spain, and these words sum it up: popular, pricey, and increasingly under pressure. Now, when we talk about eastern Spain, we talk about the Valencian community, so think Alicante, Valencia, Castellón, also Catalonia, Tarragona, Barcelona, Girona, for example. And this part of Spain is very, very popular, as I said before. In fact, it's one of the fastest growing parts of the country currently. And that's basically because a lot of people are attracted to that Mediterranean lifestyle which that part of Spain offers. However, not everything in that part of the world is positive nowadays. Summers are becoming hotter. Humidity rates in that part of Spain are also very, very high, especially during those summer months. Times that I've been to the Valencian community, the humidity has almost knocked me over. It doesn't rain as often in that part of Spain as it does in some other parts of the country, but when it does rain, it rains hard, and flooding is nowadays a serious problem in that part of Spain. Catalonia, the Valencian community, every year it seems experience heavy flooding. And maybe it's just me, but the heat in eastern Spain feels heavier than in the south. But again, maybe it's just me. When it comes to costs, for many people, Valencia city is no longer a cheap city. Prices in Barcelona nowadays are on par with many other European cities. Coastal towns in eastern Spain are under serious housing pressure, and tourist rentals, something that's very important nowadays, are squeezing locals. Yes, that part of Spain does offer fantastic lifestyle. It also has great infrastructure. The majority of cities there are walkable. However, and again, during those summer months, that part of Spain gets very, very crowded because a lot of people from the interior parts of Spain head there for their summer vacation. So again, small towns that are quiet during those winter months explode during the summer months, and you might not like that. So who does this part of Spain suit? Well, city lovers. If you want to live in a city here in Spain that's not a huge city, think Alicante city, think Valencia city, think some of the smaller cities in Catalonia. It's also good for people that want good connections, good motorways, good airports, good train connections, and for people that are looking to have short to medium term stays here in Spain. So to sum up, eastern Spain still works, but it's no longer Spain on a budget like it would have been 20 years ago. So time to ask the question, where is Spain heading? Well, as I mentioned earlier, the north of the country is becoming increasingly popular, not only with foreigners, but also with locals too. And that's because climate comfort is becoming a priority. The general quality of life that you can find in the north of Spain is also very, very attractive for many people. And some of the smaller cities there, for example, Vigo in Galicia, A Coruña in Galicia, Gijón in Asturias, and Santander in Cantabria are also becoming increasingly popular. I'm going to be honest about this and say that no region here in Spain is perfect. They all have their pros and their cons. So it's up to you before moving to Spain to find out what you value and take your decision from there. What's important? Is it climate? Is it cost? Or is it lifestyle? So I would say that the question you should ask yourself before moving to Spain or living in Spain is not where is the sun, but where can I live comfortably all year round? That's what I would be asking myself. On that note, I'll wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Tell me where you are considering moving to here in Spain, whether it is the north, the south, the east, or the west. Let me know in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video when I record it. Until the next one, hasta luego from a cold Madrid.